Hey, hi, and welcome to A Taste of Fusion. Today I'm bringing you my Sindhi-inspired menu. We're starting off with vegetable koftas with a fabulous orjo ras reduction on the side. For our main course, we're having besan ke tikke. Not besan ki tikkis, but besan ke tikke served with an onion chutney. And for dessert, an ode to myself, well, not quite. Actually, just poppy seeds, aka khashkhash, merged and fused together with some brown sugar and milk to make a wonderful but light, delicious dessert. Now it's time to go pick up my veg, get back to the kitchen and get cooking. Right, so we are ready to get started with our appetizer, which today are vegetable koftas with this fabulous curry dip called orjo ras. Now to get started. Here I have a bowl into which I'm going to pop in about 3 tablespoons of red cabbage that I've diced up very, very finely. Same with a little spinach and 2 tablespoons of diced carrot. Lovely little colors there. And some diced potato. Now I've parboiled the potatoes so they're almost cooked. Just make sure you do that so they don't remain raw. Take about 6 tablespoons of chopped up bread. Next step, grab a pot of garlic and slice it up really finely. Make sure they're thin, long slices. Okay, in that goes. And the same with about, an inch of ginger. About an inch. Now the ginger you don't slice, the ginger you chop. There we go. Fabulous. Now, all that you need to do next is grab some besan, which is flour, gram flour basically, and put in 2 teaspoons. Right, so your besan's in there. Now what you need to do is make some fabulous garam masala of your own. Here I have 3 sticks of cinnamon, I've got a couple of cloves in there, and I've got about 10 black peppercorns. Very simply, I'm going to take 1 level teaspoon of this because it's very, very strong, and just throw it in there. Now for the other spices. Here we have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, half a teaspoon of turmeric, make sure it's leveled, and 1 teaspoon of coriander powder. Grab a little oil, pour it into your bowl, and a little fusion element. I'm just going to take a quarter lemon, squeeze that juice in. Next step, get your hands in there and mush it all up. Add some more oil if the mixture is very dry. Just add a little bit of oil to keep moistening the mixture so it binds together. The mixture is coming together in the form of a paste. Okay, so I'm done kneading this. Now, I've got a little water over here. All I need to do is grab a plate so I have somewhere to keep them and make round koftas with them, like so. In case they get too sticky, just dust them with a little water and help bind them. Go. Right, there we go. Now, all we have to do is fry these up. Get your pan on a high flame and pour in a decent amount of oil because you need to almost deep fry these koftas. Now we just have to wait for this to heat up. Right, so oil is quite hot now. What I'm going to do is gently put these little koftas in. Like so, and then I'm just going to put a little paper towel on my plate so that it's ready for them when they're done. All right, now just take a little oil and drizzle them on top of each kofta so it sort of gives you the feeling that they're deep fried, and it'll keep everything held together. Don't be worried if certain, if little bits of the cabbage break away, because that will happen. And that's it. Once you smell the spices coming up, just twirl the oil around the koftas like so. Be very careful that you don't burn yourself. And I can smell the ginger, the garlic coming together beautifully. Right, turn the heat off. Now we're not done with this immediately. What I'm going to do now is make orjo ras to go with it, which is that curry that I told you about. So for that, let's put your pan away with hot oil and grab a small frying pan. Get your pan onto a high heat. Pour in a decent amount of oil. Make sure, the bottom's got about an inch on it. Now, whilst that's heating, here I have 3 cloves of garlic that I've finely sliced up, and I'm going to brown them. Okay, so my garlic is lovely and sizzling away right now. Just going to wait till it starts going a little golden. Fantastic. Right, I'm going to turn the heat down now. And I'm going to throw in 3 pinches of mustard seed or rye. And I'm going to put in 3 green chilies, which I've sliced up. I'm going to mix it up, take it off the heat slightly, and be careful because the mustard seed sort of spits. The minute you smell the mustard seed beginning to cook and it's a slightly spicy, warm smell, pour in about half a cup of imli ka pani or tamarind water. And mix it all together. Right, next step. 2 pinches of red chili flakes, 2 pinches of salt, a tiny pinch of the garam masala that we made, and a tiny pinch of turmeric. Give it a couple of stirs. Add in a dash of water. Give it 2 more stirs. Make sure you don't break any of those lovely garlic shavings that you got in there, because that's what makes it look beautiful. And turn off the heat. And you are done with your appetizer, your vegetable koftas with orjo ras as a chutney. Okay, now for our main course, which today is not besan ki tikkis or aane ki tikki, it is besan ke tikke. Okay, now for that, I've got a bowl over here. I've got some chicken breasts, which I'm going to score like so. No formalities here, straight into a bowl. 3 tablespoons of besan flour. 1 teaspoon of that garam masala mix that we made. 1 teaspoon of mustard seeds. 1.5 teaspoons of coriander powder. Half a teaspoon of turmeric. And 1.5 teaspoons of red chili flakes. Following that, finally, by 2 teaspoons of salt. And now, for the last and final secret ingredient. Here I have some poppy seeds today. And I'm going to put in about 2 large tablespoons of poppy seed. Right, so I've got the poppy seeds in there. Next step, I've got some extra virgin olive oil here. And that's a little fusion for you. I'm just going to make sure I drizzle about 1/4 cup in there. I'm going to put in a dash of balsamic vinegar. Then, I'm going to use my hands and mix this mixture up. I'm going to add a little water, just on my hands, to create a sauce. And of course, help coat the chicken quite beautifully. Now I need a little oven dish. And I'm going to take each chicken breast and just place it on the foil like so. Right, this goes into your preheated oven at 180 degrees for about 20 minutes. Right, so our chicken's in the oven. Now we're going to make an onion-based gravy to go with it, or a chutney, I'm thinking, which is traditionally served as an accompaniment for the besan ki tikki. I'm going to serve that as our side for our chicken. Now for that, I need some onions, which I have sliced up over here, which I'm going to put into the bowl with the, the besan mix that had gone into the chicken, the marinade. So I can pick up any of those extra leftover flavors. So I've got about 1 onion sliced up in there. Then I'm going to take just some coriander leaves, which I've plucked, throw them straight in. And a little addition, I've got some raw mango or keri over here. Just gonna put them in rough slices because they turn into a lovely little chutney when cooked. Now all I need to do is cook this up. Got my pan, I'm gonna get it on a high heat. And I'm gonna pour in some olive oil. I'm gonna coat the base well. I'm gonna put the onions and the raw mango with the coriander and whatever's left of our chicken marinade straight in. As soon as they start going pink, throw in 2 pinches of salt, 1 large pinch of red chili flakes, tiny pinch of turmeric, tiny pinch, and a pinch of the garam masala we made. Just lift it up to keep your onion from burning. And at this point, add a dash of balsamic vinegar, which will create an intense fusion. The pan should be completely dry by now. Add in 1 last pinch of salt. So, mix up everything. Right, that's it. Our accompaniment is done. Now it's time to move on to dessert. For dessert, I'm going to make khashkhash joshiro. Now basically it's poppy seeds with a sugar syrup, but we're going to do a little fusion piece on it. Okay, so get your pan on a high flame and put in about 50 grams of poppy seeds. Now we've got to let this heat up or roast slightly. So I'm just going to move everything around in the pan. Okie dokie. Now, some regular cooking oil, just to drizzle in like so. Next, I'm going to add in some brown sugar. Just 2 tablespoons straight in. Blend it all together. Mixing. All right, now, next step. Add in touch of milk and be very careful because it will sputter like so. Mix it all in. It's fantastic. The minute the milk is absorbed, again, once it's dry, some more milk. And much like risotto, keep mixing it up. There we go. Okay, so now basically I've been stirring this for a good 10 to 12 minutes. And in about 50 grams of poppy seeds or khashkhash, I've put in about 650 mils of milk, which needs to be absorbed completely. So we're almost there at that last stage. Right, okay, now it's pretty dry. So I'm going to throw in a handful of pistas here. And I'm going to throw in a handful of raisins. You don't need to put in raisins if you don't like them. You can put in almonds, which are traditional basically, but I think something different, pistas and raisins will go beautifully. And of course, they will also add to the sweetness. So, almost like suji ka halwa in its consistency. I'm going to keep it quite rough and quite dry. Throw in another handful of pistachios. And the same with raisins. Mix it up. Turn off the heat. let it cool down, and we are ready to plate up. We are ready to eat, and I am joined by my fabulous friend, the fantastic Hamid Haroon, or Hamoudi as I like to call him. Thank you for joining me.
It's wonderful being here, but I'm not sure that I was supposed to be complimented on the show as part of the process. I thought it was the food I was supposed to praise.
Oh, well, I get to compliment you, so, you know, I'm making little brownie points for myself as we progress.
I get to eat the food and get complimented. This is a very good deal, I must say.
Allow me to start you off with the appetizer.
It's very good. It's very good because the mix of vegetables inside is very interesting.
Right.
There's nothing glutinous holding it together, which is good. It keeps its freshness. I love the garlic on top, and of course the dhania or coriander you've thrown on top. The hari mirch is a good touch as well. The problem is in the garam masala edge you're adding. The problem is that unless you are able to blend it a little, its rawness overpowers the taste of your vegetables, which is excellent. I do want a bit of the rawness on the outside of the kofta, not on the inside.
Right, so would you suggest that I create a coating for it?
You create a coating for it.
Or create a coating for it. Fantastic.
I think that we should call it vegetable dumplings papaya.
Well, that's it, but vegetable dumplings papaya.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And now moving on to the main course, which I think is going to be a real test.
It has chicken in it, which is something I'm embarrassed to ask you, but you mind if I ask you something personal?
Of course.
Do you tend to punish your guests with shaver PIA chicken?
Not at all. It's just something that was lying around, and I just decided to make it for you. And I did not know that you.
But where is the Sindhi? Sindhi landlords have only two kinds of birds. One which are served to their guests, and the others which are confiscated by the police.
Well,
the second is called a police bird. The first is called a feudal bird.
Well,
which of the two is it?
I think it's a bit of a jailbird, this one.
That means it must be tough, because police birds also tend to get a bit tough with the
Well, I say give it a go and then tell me what you think.
Maybe if you used a light crumb with it.
Possibly, but I didn't want to because
But the crumb flavor would have been taken over by the poppy seed.
Yes, you see, but the poppy seed is the batter.
What a lovely flavor, and how much nicer if you use desi murghi. But before I do that, I must try your onions, your braised onions, but I can see a curry piece sitting on top of it. And it's curry season. It means you're a chef of distinction because you use curries, which are the most important ingredient in this season. Very nice. No, I think that you need to evolve it. It's in the right direction.
It's in the right direction.
It's in the right direction. But don't use frozen chicken again. Not if I'm coming over. Am I going to be able to have some dessert? Or is
Absolutely. Now, will you give me 1 second? Let me quickly run and get some spoons because I seem to have forgotten them.
We can have dessert with a knife.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's fantastic. But you like this?
I love it. I mean, I'm diabetic, but God help us.
Well,
if I go to heaven tonight, it's going to be because of this. What do you call this?
I don't know. I don't have a name for it either.
What do you think you should call it?
I think I should call it... I think Malida should definitely be in there. Well...
How about if I suggest something a little artsy? We can afford to be fake. Absolutely. It's all right. It's only the television camera watching us.
Absolutely.
How about if we call it the Malida Samundi? The Samundi means the mariners of the coastal belt, of the Lar. And this is their fusion.
Malida Samundi it is.
Poppy, as they say, you're obviously more than a taste of fusion. You are the taste of fusion.
Oh, sir, thank you so much. Hamoudi, thank you so much for coming on the show
Thank you for having me.
enlightening me, making it absolutely wonderful, and teaching me so many.
I couldn't hope to enlighten you. I just hope to titillate you slightly.
You are absolutely, and you have, in fact, knocked everyone's socks off. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you guys for joining us. Remember, if you want to see me fuse something or you have any comments, write in on afusion@dawnnews.tv. From Hamoudi and myself, take care. I'll see you again next week. Khuda Hafiz.